Hello, whole woman listeners. I'm Kim,
I'm Rachel.
and we're so excited to be with you today. Rachel and I have talked about doing kind of a book study, if you will, once a month because we read so many good things. And as soon as we talked about this, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you have to read my favorite book, one of my favorite books." And so I ordered it right away. And then I spent the last 3 months struggling to read it. And so we're going to talk about it because we think that it's really important. I couldn't get through it, but it's not because I didn't like it. It just didn't connect with me. And we're going to discuss why. And so the book is The Untethered Soul. It's probably backwards for all of you who are watching us on YouTube. The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself by Michael Singer. And before I talk to you about why I think I couldn't connect, I want to know, Rachel, what this book means to you and why, um, yeah, let's start there. Why does this book mean so much to you and why do you like it?
Okay, well, we did discuss to do this show on this book anyways, because I think it is valuable. Some books resonate so deeply with us and some don't. And this is one that I have in my library. Not only do I have the actual book, but I have it on Audible. I listen to it when I need like a little pep talk, if you will. But my friend Michael likes to, his whole name, Michael A. Singer, just for future reference.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. He'll forgive you. But when I was really kind of at that point, I was 40, we were talking about like learning just to kind of let go of all that negative behavior, and really starting that journey of loving Rachel, loving everything about me. I had no tools. I had no idea how do you get from A to Z. I knew I needed to do some work, but I honestly can't even remember how this book fell into my lap. I was reading The Four Agreements. I love that book as well. But this book just came to me, and that's why I know it was meant for me because the universe just delivers that message that you need to hear. But I really did not ever know how to deal with like people's energy or even my own. And always having, excuse me, that constant chatter that goes on in our heads. We all have it, but sometimes it can just be overwhelming and it can really just take over the things that we need to be doing because it's just this constant loop of negative messages. And this book really kind of showed me how to A, address it, A, how to, or excuse me, B, how to deal with it, and C, how to alter my mindset and my behavior when I went out in the world to just kind of be a peaceful, calm person.
Yeah. And as I was reading, and I did, I read quite a bit of it, but as I was reading, I was thinking about you and I together when
Mhm.
we're interacting, whether it's on camera for a podcast or whether it's one-on-one, brainstorming or working on something. And you are much more of a calm, let it flow sort of person than I am. I know that I'm a meaning maker, right? I know that I want to get to the root of it. I want to know what it means. I want to know how to help, all those things. And I think that maybe that's why the book didn't resonate with me so much because I can never find that silence just by identifying and letting go. That doesn't work for me. To me, that feels like meditation.
Mm.
Meditation has never worked for me. On the flip side, and something we'll talk about a little bit more maybe or I know next week, prayer does work for me. Like I can't find silence in trying to isolate and let go, but I can find silence and peace when I stop to listen. Two totally opposite frames of mind, letting go and listening, right?
Mhm.
And so I came to a happy appreciation of the book
Mhm.
even though I don't identify with it. I know a lot of people that I think, oh, this would be perfect for so and so, just because I engage and do the dance with them like I do with you. You're calm and flowing. I'm overthinking and in your face, probably. I don't know. But so you found the book, you embraced the book, you worked through some of the things that he talks about. So let's just go through it a little bit. What happens for you, like in a circumstance where you're feeling that agitation or that anxiety or whatever, and you work to identify or notice the thought that's causing it? Can you just kind of walk us through a little bit of the process?
Sure, but what I would love to ask you first is, would it surprise you to know that I used to be like that? I used to overthink and overtalk and over everything. I
Hmm.
used to be totally like that. And learning how to just be in the moment, be in the present, and know that I literally have no control over anything, anyone other than myself and my responses to things. I
Hmm.
think that is what this book really kind of taught me how to do. And the exchange of energy between two people, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think that was so interesting to learn that a lot of anxiety for me, a lot of fear, a lot of that like heightened feeling that we get is wasn't necessarily the situation. It was somebody's exchange of energy with me that sometimes is so intense that I feel it too. And I've learned how to tell myself it's like, okay, this person's coming in hot, and I don't have to go with it. I don't have to get involved with it. And again, just like the listening and not talking over people, it's still a practice, but I've been doing this a lot longer. So it's a lot easier for me to disengage with someone or disengage with high intensity or high anxiety, and just remind myself it's like, take a breath, take a beat. I can choose to leave the situation if I can. And it's just kind of like a series of like thoughts that I've taught myself how to deal with things like that.
Yeah. I admire it. I think it's great. I mean, like, I just see the difference in us. Like you move it away. I mean, like you push it away. And as I grow older and I'm working on the same things and love and acceptance of myself and the quieting, rather than push away from me, I feel like I'm pulling in. But I'm focusing on what I'm pulling in through. Like my faith has grown deeper and deeper and deeper as I go through trying to change some of the same things you did. I mean, like the answers you found through Michael A. Singer's book, I've found through my faith and through diving into the Bible. So, like, just two different resources, two maybe different applications, but still good for ourselves and our personalities and the way that we are coming to the same place where we love ourselves and we honor ourselves and caring for ourselves because we can't care and love for anyone else when we're in that agitated, consume everything state of being, right?
Correct. But I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like, does it matter if it's Michael A. Singer's book? Does it matter if it's the Bible? Does it matter if it's whatever book it is? If it's getting you to acknowledge that your behavior is not something that's conducive to living a happy, peaceful life, it's like, okay, well, this message is coming at me from whatever direction,
Yep.
but it's telling me the same thing, that I need to learn how to deal with other people. I need to learn how to deal with my emotions. I need to learn how to deal with my stress, whatever it is that we always are in this state of overwhelm, right?
Yeah.
If if I were to say to you, or you were to say to me at this point in our growth, that you're doing this to yourself, you'd be like, exactly. But
Mhm.
a lot of people are at the beginning stages, that doesn't even compute, because like, well, this person did this to me. This person said this thing to me.
Right.
My mom, my dad, my blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yep, all those things are true. But the way that you're letting these people affect you is all you.
No, I agree 100%. And I agree even more that it's it's just like everything else that we do, right? There's not a perfect diet, there's not a perfect exercise, there's not a perfect um, way to live your life. You have to find, as women at this stage in our lives, we have to find those things that bring us back to that place of being whole and being not just whole so that we can serve others, but whole so that we can care for ourselves, right?
Mhm.
And so that's why I love this conversation. I don't think it's a right or wrong or black or white. I mean, it's just two different approaches to find the same wholeness within ourselves. And so I
Mhm.
love these conversations. Um,
Absolutely.
so I have conversations with you, and I'm going to circle back to now that you have this practice that you've been working through for quite some time. And it's not like the book offers a step by step, do this, do this, do this. It's really, the book is really about you identifying what works for you. And I love that piece of it.
Hmm.
But so now that you've been identifying and releasing and caring for yourself rather than everybody else's muck, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Those things still come at us, right? They still come at us. You still have people who come at you or the world situations that come at you and everything. So what happens after you notice yourself consumed, I guess, with somebody else's junk or the world's problems or whatever, putting you in an off place? How do you identify and how do you start to move forward?
So if something happens to me in a short period of time, in like two or more times, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to learn something here. And we can bring this back to last year when I was talking to you a lot about being a good friend. And I was experiencing some things here that were just bringing up all this stuff for me. And initially, like, I went through the gamut of feelings, just like every human. I went through the what the fuck, and then I went through the hurt, and then I went through I'm not doing this shit. I mean, so I did go through my stages, but it was like this amount of time versus like this amount of time that it would have taken me before. So I'm grateful for that. Like I was able to, and that's what I love about his book. He's like, I'm not telling you to like sweep things under the rug. You deal with things and then you let it go. Because literally, what am I going to do? Waste another 10 years wondering why this person didn't do what they said they were going to do or what I thought they should do? And
Right,
I think that so many conflicts between humans are really me thinking, Kim, you really should be acting this way or behaving this way or saying this to me, when that may not be how you think, feel, or see the situation at all. So
right,
I am projecting my feelings onto you. And when you learn that you do that with a lot of people and a lot of situations, and you are capable of pulling yourself back, like life becomes so less dramatic and less stressful. And I am grateful for that. Like, I would never go back to the person I was before because I was always in a heightened fight or flight situation. And I ain't got time for that now.
I love that. So the book emphasizes detaching from emotion, right? Not that you don't acknowledge it, not that you don't feel, right?
Hmm.
But to separate the experience from how you feel about it, kind of, right? So my go-to motion is to surrender so I can make meaning of the emotions, right? And like I said up at the top of the show, I'm a meaning maker. I know that's who I am. Why, what, who, how, whatever. Um, so I'm a little jealous that this resonates with you because like I don't look at you and think, oh, she's a non-emotional person because you're one of the most loving, kind, friendly, fun people that I know. And I also know that you get fired up, right? So emotions course through your body like a freight train sometimes.
Hmm.
Do you feel like this practice that you have fallen into, um, does it help you come to solution faster or does it help you get over it sooner? I mean, just help a girl out. Because
Sure.
I can carry sadness for a long time.
Oh.
Eventually I just pull myself up by my bootstraps and I say, "What are you doing?" Right? but I'm just curious. Talk to us.
Well, I was just going to say, you're right. It's not like I don't have emotions, and it's not like I don't feel initially slighted by people. Like I do. But again, when you remind yourself, this person is doing this because of them, it has nothing to do with me. And I get to choose, do I have a conversation with this person and say, hey, I thought we were friends. Did something happen? Can we talk about it? Or even if it's a stranger and they're honking at me because I didn't turn fast enough, it's like, you obviously left your house 20 minutes too late and now you're rushed. And so you're in a frenzy. And if that is actually a really good example, because in New York City, you can pick those people out in a nanosecond if they left their apartment late because they're like flipping out. And I learned living there that if you don't have 1 full hour to do like one errand, don't even bother, because the subway could be late, the store could be crowded. If you have to be somewhere in an hour, don't try and go to the post office, the grocery store, and your PO box. Like it just is not going to work. So I think learning that behavior is like, if I don't want to feel this anxiety and this anger and this rush, then don't put myself in this position. And it holds true for a lot of scenarios. I think if I don't want to get angry because I'm having a conversation with someone and we don't agree on something, I'm just not going to do it. It's not worth it's not worth my peace.
Yeah.
Like you and I have had conversations about almost everything you could possibly talk about in the world, off camera and on. And not once did we get angry with each other or not let each other finish or not let each other believe what we believe. But you know, and I know that that's not always the case in the world. So you have a choice to make. Am I going to sit here for 2 hours and debate this person who could care less about really what I have to say and just wants to be right? Or am I going to be like, good for you, I'm going over here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's really simplify it. Like you're mad and you work yourself through this process and you're just like, this has nothing to do with me. Um, I'm going to let them sit and stew in their own juices and have their problem. And I'm going to remove myself from their thought space, right? Do you fill that with something like, do you have mantras or do you have catchphrases that you tell yourself? Because let's just be honest, we live in this great, big, full of people world where it seems like at least 50% of the people you encounter throughout the course of a day are just pissed off, right?
Mm.
And
Yep.
it could be just that you're walking through Target like I was yesterday, and it was a beautiful day, right? It was sunny. And I see this person, and they have the cutest little kiddo in their cart, and he's just like, "La, da, 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 da," and I think to myself, oh, he's so cute. And I catch their eyes and I smile at them, and they just look at me like I've got three heads, right? I could let it bum me out, but instead I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm telling myself, I remember what it was like to be 30 years old with a toddler in the cart who wouldn't shut up, and I'm tired and I'm whatever, so God bless them, right? God bless them.
Yeah.
Let it go. So do you have things you tell yourself?
But
And
that was such a great example because, like you said, a lot of times, 99%, 100% of the time, when someone does something like that, it has nothing to do with you. It could be all of those reasons that you listed. And
Mhm,
for you to quickly acknowledge that and make it not about you, how much time did you save of going back and forth? Well, why did they look at me like that? Why didn't they smile back? Like, I mean, we as humans tell our brain to fix things that are unfixable,
mhm,
all because we want to be loved, all because we want to be liked, all because when that is another sham that society puts on us. It's like, well, you need people's approval, you need to be loved by other people. Those things are great, but how do you come prepared in any relationship if you don't love yourself, right? And
mhm.
I think that's the bottom line to any book, any mantra, any lesson that you can learn. If you don't have all of that within you, how are you going to give it to anyone else?
Mhm. Good conversation. Good thoughts. I'm just thinking, like for me, the thoughts come in and I try to reshape them. It's not automatic. So, like, even though the shopping cart thing, I came to that realization, the initial thought that popped into my head was, how rude.
I
But
hear
then, but then I've got to work through it. I just sit and I wonder if the goal is to watch our thoughts and to either choose to make them ours or let them go, or if it's to catch the thought and make it work for you. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I think that that is a great question. Unfortunately, I can't answer it for you because I still have those initial thoughts.
Hmm.
And I still have to go through my whole little processing thing and come to the understanding that it had nothing to do with me and let it go. But a lot of times, like I'll see something and be like, that was stupid or what a dipshit. I mean, so I still have those judgment thoughts. And I am actually listening to another book right now. And the author was saying, when I can get to the point of not even having those judgmental thoughts, I'm like, yes, that's what I've been striving for all these years. And I think it's going to take a little bit more effort on my part just because it's so easy to see something out in the world and just be like, what a dumb shit. You know what I mean? So, how do you get to that point where you just let everything go and let nothing penetrate? I mean, that's an interesting thought.
Hmm. Hmm. I've reached a point where I can think to myself, that's their life, right? It- um, I really have reached a good point where I'm not thinking what a dumb shit very often. Um, but I still have those little remnants that hang out back here that would be like, but never in my house. Like that might work for you, but not in my house.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also too think if we could all bring it back to the beauty of being different,
Yeah.
like that seems lost, which I would love to get back. It's like, well, that's her, that's him, that's what makes them happy, and just let that be the story,
Hmm.
instead of, well, they must be this and they must be that and they must. It's just, why are we trying to figure out other people so much? Like, let people be who they are.
Hmm.
There's a couple of states, but I just know of Portland, and their mantra is like, keep Portland weird. Because it's full of weird people and it's accepted. And it's just like, this is Portland. It's
Yeah.
the Northwest.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And if we could all start to kind of go there more, that would be lovely, right? Just to kind of let people do their thing.
Hmm. Yeah. I agree. So let's get back to the book just a little bit, because I think it's important that people, if they pick the book up, um, why did they pick it up? Tell us what specifically changed for you in reading this.
Mhm. Well, I have my book open to chapter 2, and it's called The Inner Roommate. And it's very interesting to read this chapter, but it's even more fascinating to listen to this chapter on the audio version because it does just what we talked about. It's like, if you start to like notice that your mind is just going, 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 I have to do this. Oh my God, why did she say this? Oh, did I turn the kitchen lights off? You know what? I'm hungry. Wait, I mean, so all those things, right? I mean, like yeah. And if you just stop and in your mind just say hello, to like snap yourself out of it, or you can choose any word. You can be like sunrise. But if you have a word that you just say in your mind or out loud, just to like shut up. Like you're basically telling yourself, just stop thinking or overthinking or just thinking because you have to think. So I did love that chapter because I was so guilty of that. Like sometimes, and I think we've talked about this before, like if the minute my eyes open, I've chosen to like say thank you or thank you for today or thank you for another day. But I remember those days where I would open my eyes and my brain would just go like in all the things I had to do today. And to learn how to wake up and just like be peaceful, that's really nice. I do
Mhm.
love chapter 2, but I also love um chapter or part 3. So it's freeing yourself.
Mhm.
That whole section for me was kind of what we've been talking about this whole time. Being able to learn that I'm not in control over anything or anyone, and making choices every day to be responsible for myself,
Mhm.
but not take on your behavior. Like, I don't have to fix you. I don't have to fix
Right.
anything. And I'm always open to having a healthy conversation, but I'm not going to enter myself in some crazy thing where someone just wants to be right.
Yeah.
I used to be like that, and I know how exhausting it is, and I just don't want to participate in that kind of thing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you feel like your reactions changed first? Like, did you work on your response first, or did you work on identifying your emotions and putting those into perspective? Does that make sense?
It did make sense, and that's a
Okay.
great question. And I want to say I'm not really sure, because if I remember the day something happened that I was like, oh, I have an opportunity here to put this into action. So, really quick story. I'm on the subway. This tourist lady had all these bags and didn't understand, like, when the subway moves, you have to like center yourself or you're going to go flying. And she banged into me, and she was rude to me about it. And she said something really snotty. And instead of like my initial reaction would have been like, saying something mean, I just looked at her for a second. And in my brain, I'm like, you have a choice here. You can get into a fight, or you can just smile and let it go. Because is it worth my peace to fight with this lady I'm never going to see again? And I remember staring at her. And then I just smiled at her, and the doors opened, and I was like, have a great day. And I will never forget that experience, because I made a choice to not get involved with like useless drama, right? Or a
Yeah.
useless situation. And that felt so freeing, because the minute I got off the subway, it was done. Like, unless I'm telling the story, I don't think about it again.
Right. Yeah. That's a great example. I love that. Who do you think this book helps the most?
Angry ass bitches like me. No, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I really, really thought it was going to resonate with you.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think it could have, but I kept waiting for the and then what moment to come. Like I can process and I can identify and I can think about all the times people told me, you have to have better boundaries. I mean, this doesn't talk about really boundaries. It talks about like just letting it go. Because if you have boundaries, you got shit bouncing off the walls all the time, so reminding you it's out there and you're just saying identify it and move it out. Um, but but I kept waiting for the author to say, try this, do this, or give me a story. I'm so into books, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, whatever it is. I want the story so I can connect it to my own life. And I wasn't getting a ton of stories. Like I'm resonating with this so much more now, having had this conversation with you, because you give me those stories or you're pulling stories out of me
Mhm.
that fit. So I think that's where my disconnect was. Um, yeah, I don't know. I wanted more. And the final question I have for you, and then I'm just going to let you talk to people about whatever you want.
Whatever I want.
Um, the question that stuck with me as I was getting ready for this podcast today was, Is inner peace something that we create, or is it something we receive?
That is a great question. And I would say we create it and then we continue to receive it because the bottom line is whatever we put out in the world, we get back, right?
Mm,
So that's why even though I'm doing my best to sympathize or empathize with someone because they are going through something right now and their emotions are what they are. So I try not to be like, oh, it's all going to work out. I mean, I do at least say, I'm really sorry you're going through this right now, if I can support you in any way. But if you continually, and I'll just continue to use myself as an example, negativity begets negativity. And when you wake up and you're like, it's gonna be a shitty day, of course it's gonna be a shitty day. You made that proclamation. But if you're like, good things keep happening to me, it's gonna be a beautiful, it is a beautiful day, whatever you say to yourself that changes your mindset. And you know me, I am a huge believer of that.
mhm.
Because I've experienced a complete negative of mindset, to know that my changing my mindset has really shifted my life and my life experiences. And I say this all the time. It's not like things don't happen in my life
Right.
that ain't great and they're stressful, but to not be consumed by those emotions anymore comes with me doing a lot of things. This kind of work, having a amazing partner who I can trust and talk to, and sometimes he does talk me off the ledge, and having amazing women friends like you and other people that are just like, hey, 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 snap out of it. You know what I mean? So I'm still working on being that person for other people, but I do believe that we create the life that we want. And I I don't know why I feel like I have to continue to say it doesn't mean that life doesn't happen to people. It does, but it's an I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You're on a good roll. I
It's just
mean,
like
like you're making sense. So,
it's a thing. It's an experience that we're having. It doesn't mean your whole life is shit. I
right.
guess that's what I would try to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a lot like for me trying to find the good in the bad, right? Things happen sometimes. Um, but often it's just a change of direction, right? And you can find good anywhere you go. You can wake up and I 100% agree. The frame of mind that you have when you open your eyes and you address the day makes all the difference in the world. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I write every single morning because sometimes life, right? And there are things that are sitting there and that are heavy or circumstances that happen, I mean, we have had a couple of things happen like to us, right? In the last couple of weeks. And when I say to us, I mean like just things that other people have done that have impacted our lives, right? Not me physically. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, what's today going to bring? But then no, I open my journal and I purge it. I write it all out and then I end it in this, it is a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful day. This is how I want to come out and how I want to engage with people. I don't want it always to be poor, poor me, so sad, Eeyore. I do want to be a light for other people.
Yeah.
And I think that starts with a choice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it also starts with tools, right? That's what I was trying to get at. Like, you can't expect yourself to deal with everything your life is without having some tools. And I think that that is one of my tools is this book. Like, the message was really just so powerful for me. Another is learning how to communicate my emotions and feelings and not take it out on somebody. Being able to verbalize, I'm really upset. you hurt my feelings, or I don't know what to do in this moment, and talk about it or sit and think about it instead of lashing out.
Yeah.
And I think that so many people, when they're angry, and I'm not sure if it's this book or if it was a different book I read, but it's an instinctual thing for humans. If they're feeling all this buildup of energy, they need that release. So a lot of times when someone yells at you or hits you or snaps at you or does something that's just so outrageous, it's a release of energy on their part. And you know, when that expression, people want other people to feel as bad as they do, that is very true to what I'm saying about the energy. It's like, I don't want to feel like this by myself, or I don't want to feel like this at all. So here, you take it.
Yeah.
And to learn how to not do that to another human being is such a powerful gift. And now that I know how to do that, like I ask permission. Like if something happened to me when I first moved here, I moved to South Carolina, a lot of religious people, and they just start talking about it without finding out about who you are. They just assume. And it was just a weird interaction with someone. And when a friend said, "Well, how was your day yesterday?" I said, "It was kind of rough. I had this really weird experience." She's like, "Well, tell me about it." And I said, "Well, I don't want to do to you what she did to me." So it was a very like, and I kind of gave her a little bit more information, and she made the choice. She's like, "No, I want to hear. I want you to tell me what happened." But to not just like throw up your stuff on another person, because you don't know how it's going to affect them. You
Mhm.
don't know how what's going on with them. Or and I just found that so interesting that you can actually ask permission if someone wants to deal with your shit. So that is something I really am grateful for, because to acknowledge, like, hey, this could actually affect someone negatively or freak them out or scare them or whatever. I don't want to do that
Mhm.
without letting them know what they're in for.
Mhm. Yeah. That's why I try to live life in the gray zone. Um, I want you to know who I am and what I believe without dropping the expectation on you. And
Hmm.
I think you and I, I mean, we have this great ebb and flow, and a lot of the people that we've worked with, that we interact with, like through other podcasts and things, it's not always that way. I mean, sometimes there's no mistaking who a person is or what they think.
Hmm.
And and no matter where you are in this world, when you come at people with all the lights blazing and all of the strong words and strong emotions, it can be overwhelming.
Hmm.
And so I feel like, coming back to what we were talking about earlier, we all have to find that way to not only care for ourselves, but also how to be present in the world and be good world citizens, good friends, good partners, good parents, good daughters, good whatever. And that all comes through communication and learning how to process your own shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's really something we should teach in school. We should teach young people how to not disagree. That's the wrong word, but like how to have discussions, how to live in sync with other people who aren't exactly the same,
Hmm.
and how to be good friends and good neighbors. Um, Kind of a continuation from where we were last week with Victoria, and
Yeah.
just learning to listen to people. I mean, that would be a good first step. And then after you learn to keep your mouth shut and listen to people, identifying who you are and how you process through your emotions and your feelings and your baggage is the wrong word too. I mean, I'm finding all kinds of wrong words today, but you know what I'm saying. Like the things that we carry from past experiences that have maybe skewed the way we view other people. The world would be such a better place if we would just shut our mouths and learn to process our stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we're all so reactive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to learn how to not be is possible. It's not impossible. You have to choose it.
Hmm.
Yeah, we could talk about this all day long and just realize that um, all the good things that you just said, it takes work because we were all brought up in certain homes, certain households, certain environments. And when I still hear someone my age saying, well, I just grew up like that, it's like, okay, yeah, you did, but you get to choose how you act, behave, and care for other people now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Well, good conversation today, friend.
Always.
Yep, I'll go back and try and read it again now that we've had this conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
I would just really highly recommend reading The Inner Roommate, which is chapter 2. I
I
think
did that.
that,
I even have highlights.
okay.
Sorry,
But
that
I
wasn't neighborly.
um God, this is just such a good friggin' book. But I will tell you that Michael A. Singer does not, that's why I think another reason why I loved this book, even though it is in the self-help genre, it is not a step by step. It's bringing awareness to behavior, and it's a gentle nudge and just like, oh, I I do this. Oh, I did that. It's just, so if you're looking for a step by step, then this is definitely not the book for you.
Yeah.
But chapter 2 is super valuable, and I just had it and now I can't find it. There's that section about energy.
Mm-hmm.
God, I just had it.
Freeing yourself. Part
Oh,
three.
no, 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 part two,
Oh,
experiencing energy.
okay.
That whole section, very valuable. So if you can bring yourself to read it again, then do it.
Okay. I'll do my best.
I just got an email from Amazon that he is coming out with a new book.
Oh,
I would love to have you on the podcast, Michael A. Singer, if you're listening.
put it out there. Put it out
That's
there.
right. Put it out in the uni. Take a break from yoga, Michael A. Singer, and be on the Whole Woman podcast.
I love it. I love it. All right, friend. Well, this has been enlightening, and I love having these conversations with you. I love the fact that we are not together in the gray zone all the time, that we have different experiences that we can share with our listeners.
Yes. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope you grab a copy of The Untethered Soul by who?
Michael A. Singer.
You got it.
Have a great week.
You too. Until next time, ladies.
Bye.